Hey guys, Big Red 310s here again. It feels like a little while since I've shown my face in front of the camera. You know, I've done a lot of audio videos, I've been kind of sick, so good to get my face out there. This TNA pay-per-view on the other hand, fucking sucked. Short and simple. I'm doing this video immediately after the show, so I'm sorry if my funny titles aren't there yet. You gotta give me a second. They're probably already there. I'll probably think of them on the spot. We'll see. But let's just get to the show. Jay Lethal versus Robbie E. No complaints here. I thought it was an alright opener. Clearly not an X Division style match. I'll make a Shore reference, I guess, in the title. People complain because in the end, the ending sequence I didn't like. I thought it was very clunky. I thought it didn't flow well. The pacing of it wasn't really well done. Cookie kept interfering. Lethal kept stopping her. Then Robbie E come. He would attack him. Then Cookie interfered again. Stop her. Attack Robbie E. Then he went to the top rope. And then, this is the only thing I'm going to spoil because I feel, because you guys probably know and I need to talk about it. Then he goes to the top rope. Then Cookie interferes again. And this time, Robbie Lee crotches him. Neck breaker. It's over. Very clunky. I didn't like the sequence. People are going to gripe about Robbie E being the X Division champion. If your gripe is that Jay Lethal is no longer the X Division champion, I can understand. But for Robbie E, you know, he has been getting pushed. He's getting more heat. He got a lot of go away heat in the beginning, but I think he's getting legitimate heat now. And you know, I really don't have too much of a problem with it. Sure, I don't like him as X Division champion. He's not. I think he's all right. I don't think he's that great of a wrestler, but I do think he's passable for TNA. So you know, I really don't. It doesn't bother me that much. 2.5. Next we get an awesome match. Mickie James versus Tara. This match was the best women's match I've seen all year from WWE or TNA. Obviously, Nami Toyota, Daisy Hayes, and Shimmer, and some of the even Sarah DeWay and Amazing Kong. Maybe that's a maybe. Put on better matches than this, but this for WWE and TNA quality was still wow, much better. Really enjoyed it. Not that sloppy. Nice wrestling. Nice chain wrestling. Nice submissions. Nice spots, kind of nice pace to it. And then this part I actually liked. I know people aren't going to like it. I didn't like it later in the show, but I liked it here. They went to WDQ, and then they were brawling for like 10 minutes. I like that they're putting over a feud. There's an actual feud between these two girls. This is something that men don't even do, where they put over that these people do not like each other. They don't care about the match. They don't care about the rules. They want to hurt their opponent. And really, it got to the point where the match was out of control. Like, they were fighting all over, you couldn't control it. They were beating up referees, they were beating up other people. It deserved to be a double DQ. I was perfectly fine with this ending. And I know people that were. My only problem was they brawled afterwards, and it was a little too long. They definitely went way past their mark for at the end of the match. But it was still good. I gave this 2 3/4 just because it was short. If this was a little longer, I actually would have given this a positive 3-star contributive rating to a pay-per-view. This was the second best thing on this whole pay-per-view. Like, I'm not kidding. This was the second best match on this entire pay-per-view. That says something. But yeah, this was a good match. I liked it. Best women's match from WWE I've seen in a long time. Alright. Next, we got the match of the night, and by far the best thing on this pay-per-view, Motor City Machine Guns versus Team 3D. Now, I've been saying for a while now that I feel that Motor City Machine Guns are the true most valuable players from TNA, more so than Kurt Angle. I know I'm going to get heat for that, but it's true. I mean, look at Destination X with their Ultimate X match against Generation Me. Last month in Bound for Glory, in my opinion, that match in the opener was better than the match in the main event, just because of the shit that happened at the end of the main event. Look at No Surrender. I mean, I know people really love the Kurt Angle Jeff Hardy match. I'm not as high on it as most people. I thought the Guns, but just as good as a match. Victory Road, they had that great match with Beer Money. Freaking the whole effing show, they had that awesome match with Beer Money. In my opinion, TNA's match of the year. I know. Again, I know I'm in the minority on that one. But yeah, they just the series against Beer Money. They single-handedly have helped this promotion out a lot. I recently asked on my Twitter, who's the tag team of the year in your opinion? The Kings of Wrestling or the Motor City Machine Guns? Honestly, I don't have to say the Motor City Machine Guns because the Kings of Wrestling, while they are the better talent, what they have not done for Ring of Honor as much as the Motor City Machine Guns have done for TNA. Motor City Machine Guns have single-handedly in the summer made the TNA product watchable. Single-handedly. So yeah, I think that. And Beer Money. Now I wouldn't say single-handedly. Beer Money had help in that too. But yeah, these guys are definitely a great team. They had a very, very good match here with 3D. I really enjoyed this. A lot of good stuff. 3D proved. Again, I've also thought that 3D was underrated. People know that I'm a little high on Team 3D, higher than most. when we did the booking league a few months ago, I pushed them as my top tag team for this reason. I really like them. My only problem was the well, I'm not gonna, again. I really don't want to ruin it, but I think I might have to. Team 3D did lose. They actually had Chris Sabin kick out of the 3D, which the announcers put over like a big deal. My only problem was immediately after this, the Guns hit their Skull and Bones for the win, but like the crowd like was kind of silent. Whereas when the Guns originally hit the Skull and Bones earlier in the match, the crowd went apeshit. The match clearly peaked. So, in my opinion, what they should have done was they should have done the 3D. They should have had Sabin kick out and they put it over as a big deal. Then Brother Ray, because this did happen in the match, he asked Devon to get a table. They put it in the corner. Brother Ray goes to throw Chris Sabin when he goes through the table himself. And then Chris Sabin kicks Devon, Skull and Bones, boom, pop, win. Instead, they did table, Skull and Bones, 3D, then back to the Skull. And the ending just came off very flat, in my opinion. It didn't work off that well. But I did really, really, really enjoy this match. I gave it 3 3/4. Had a lot of fun with it. Definitely the best match in the show. By fucking far. By a country mile. This thing was the best thing on the show. And again, the Motor City Machine Guns help out TNA. I mean, they didn't save this pay-per-view, unfortunately. I thought maybe if this match was great, maybe this would have saved the pay-per-view, but I don't think they got there yet. Then we got Tommy Dreamer versus RVD. You know, Tommy got hurt. Now I know that I think they went the full time they were gonna go anyways. But like they should have ended the match right there. Dreamer wanted to continue the match. It was kind of weird. Like RVD missed 2 straight frog splashes, and then he hit a third one finally. Dreamer was holding you could see the bone out of his hand. He was clearly injured. They should have just ended the match there, in my opinion. I would have understood. Everyone would have understood. Instead, they dragged the match on for another 6 minutes. The crowd was dead. The crowd was worried for Tommy, and it just didn't come off that well. And I had to give the match 2 stars because of that. I give it 2 because I appreciate Tommy's effort. You know, like his effort just to continue with the match, even though he probably was in a lot of pain. And they did some okay ladder spots before then. So yeah, I'm going to give it 2. The kindness in my heart, but it does not deserve 2. The wrestling was far worse than that. Okay, then we got Fortune versus EV2. This was alright, actually. I kind of like this match, to be honest. It just got, I really like 8-man and 10-man tags. I think they're always a lot of fun, especially in TNA. I know people crap on TNA, but TNA does do these, they do a good job with these matches. The wrestlers are, remember, they have an amazing roster. They have a skilled enough roster to get through this match without typical TNA bullshit booking. And I like this match. I just thought it was a little too short, and I thought that they didn't do enough in the beginning. I mean, it got really good towards the end, but it wasn't enough to make the match good. You know what I'm saying? I like the finish. My only problem was Sabu got fired because he was pinned. Apparently, that was the reason why they didn't really pick him. And like Flair was making fun of him, and they gave Sabu this big send off. And I was thinking, this send off is so much bigger than the send off that Team 3D just got earlier in the night. So much bigger. And now it's Team 3D retiring. This is Sabu being fired. I mean, it kind of puts over, you know, if you don't wrestle in TNA, you can't wrestle anywhere else because it's the only promotion that matters. But still, I don't know. I just thought just kind of snubbed 3D there a little bit. But yeah, this was an alright match. I give it 2 3/4. Third best match of the night, in my opinion. Pope versus Abyss. Okay. This is where the bullshit starts. Alright. I was kind of looking forward to this match to a degree. Abyss has been fucking terrible in TNA this year. I'm sorry. He has been. I just really think it's not even so much that he's been a bad worker. It's just that like his angles have been dumb. He's been put with Hogan, which was the bull. We've had so many TNA. I said before, Abyss has really been a downer on TNA this year. And this was no different. These guys had a nothing match. Like, they just did a bunch of moves. Nothing really to it. The face had the advantage because he had his own lumberjacks. The lumberjack were his congregation, his family, one person, supposedly his brother. Eric Bischoff comes out, says. And then the entire congregation beats up Pope, turns on him, feeds him to Abyss. Abyss wins. Fuck this company. That made no sense whatsoever. Again, why would you... I hate this mentality. You spend the whole match helping him. What if he accidentally had pinned Abyss during the match? Then what happens to your plan? This made no sense. Having the congregation turn on himself. Someone who looked like his brother. Why? Just because Eric paid him off? Because he paid them more than Pope did? Because Pope was supposed to pay his own congregation to come for his match? None of this made any sense. I hated this match. Star 3/4. Then we got a match I hated even more. Samoa Joe versus Jeff Jarrett. Fuck you, TNA. This was a nothing match. Absolutely fucking nothing match. They did nothing. And then Joe worked on Jarrett. Crowd was fucking dead. And then at the end, Joe took out the referee. Gunner and Murphy come out. Jarrett takes out Joe's leg with a nightstick, and then he puts the Coquina clutch, which really made Joe look bad, in my opinion. You couldn't find another ending. You really had to make sure that Jarrett pinned Joe with Joe's own move. Yes, kayfabe, the goal was it made Joe look bad. But in real life, it did make Joe look bad. I mean, we were commenting that Joe looked pissed walking into this match. This is fucking why. Because he worked for such a god-awful company. God, I hated this match. Worst match of the night, in my opinion. Star and a half. I'm sorry, Joe, and I had faith. I was saying, I don't care how we got here. Joe was finally in a semi-main event match. No! Fuck that shit! This only made him look worse. God damn it. And then we had Jeff Hardy versus Matt Morgan. This, what can I say? It was alright. Jeff Hardy worked over Morgan's leg, which I actually didn't hate as much as most people did. Morgan did his moves. There was a spot where Morgan gave Jeff Hardy the footprint, and the referee was going to count at 3, but he stopped at 2, saying, no, he kicked out when he didn't. The shoulders stayed down. At the time, I thought, oh boy, heel referee. Here we go. Here's the bullshit. Here it comes. But no, they just continued the match like it was nothing. Hardy eventually won with a twist of fate, another twist of fate, then a whisper in the wind, another twist of fate. Such an anticlimactic, such a bullshit ending. Made Morgan look really bad. I hated him. I wouldn't say I hated, but this match, a bad pay-per-view main event. I'm sorry. I gave this 2 stars. This did not work for me. And then they celebrated like Jeff Hardy had won the main event of WrestleMania with confetti and everybody celebrating with a beer. I don't know what to say about this show, man. I thought the opener was alright. Then the women's match was actually a good women's match. Then we had a really good match. And then everything just went wrong. Tommy Dreamer got hurt. The 8-man tag I thought was a personal bright spot in the show. Then we had 3 straight terrible main events. Back to back to back. Which really killed the show. This is why I hated Over the Limit. And this is why I hated this pay-per-view too. I'm sorry, TNA. I have to give this show a 5.75. Just because there was 4 things. Like I said, I like the 8-man tag. I like the women's match. I really like the tag team match. And I kind of like the opener too. So I really can't totally give this such a negative rating. But the second half of the show is just complete shit. I have no choice but to give it a bad rating. So yes, I am going to give it a 5.75. Terrible, terrible, terrible pay-per-view. You want your funny titles, they're down there. I'm sorry, I'm in a rush. So yeah, this was a shitty pay-per-view. Nothing more I can say about it. Fuck you, TNA. You could do a much better job than this. If this is what we're going to get with the new regime for every pay-per-view, I'm not going to say that yet. I'm not going to lose hope in the company yet. Well, I've already lost hope. I'm not going to lose. I'm not going to blatantly stop watching the product and hope they die like some people on here. I'm not there yet. But I'm telling you, TNA, I'm pretty close. I'm pretty close. Take that for what you will. Alright, I'm Big Roach 10. I'm out, guys. If you ordered this pay-per-view, sorry. See you.